Princess Lyra moved slowly through the long corridors of the big space station. The station floated high above a huge gas giant planet, a place where many species came to talk and make deals. Lights blinked on the walls. Voices came from every direction. Aliens of different shapes and colors walked past her, some tall, some short, some with extra arms or glowing skin. Lyra sat in her hover chair. It floated a few inches above the floor and made a soft hum. Her legs ended just above the knees. Years ago, an explosion in the royal palace took them away. The doctors gave her metal supports and the chair, but her people saw it as a bad thing. In the Vylorian Empire, a princess must look perfect. Weakness was not allowed. So her family kept the story quiet. They told everyone she was only there to smile and look nice during talks. Today was hard. The Vylorian group came to discuss trade, metal ores for new ship engines. She studied old books and secret files about machines. But her brother, the crown prince, never let her speak. "Stay quiet, Lyra," he said every time. "You are here for show." Her attendants followed her like shadows. They pushed her chair when she tried to go her own way. They answered questions for her. They made her feel small. After many hours of sitting silent in big meeting rooms, Lyra felt tired. Her head hurt. The chair's power was low. She needed a quiet place to rest. She turned her chair down the side path. The main corridors were too loud and full. This path was narrower. Fewer people walked here. Signs on the walls said, "Maintenance only." She ignored them. No one paid attention to her anyway. She came to a plain metal door. It looked like many others. She pressed the open button. The door slid aside with a hiss. She floated inside. The room was small. Tools lay on tables. Wires hung from the ceiling. A big workbench sat in the middle with pieces of machines all over it. Holoscreens floated in the air, showing lines of code and glowing diagrams. The air smelled like hot metal and oil. One man stood there, back to the door. He wore a simple gray jumpsuit with the Sol Concordance patch on the shoulder. He held a small tool that sparked as he worked on a black box. Lyra stopped. This was not a lounge. This was a workshop. She felt stupid. She turned her chair to leave before he noticed. But he heard the door. He looked over his shoulder. He had brown hair cut short, a little messy. His face looked calm, not angry or scared. He saw her hover chair, her silver clothes with Vylorian royal marks, the way she held herself straight, even when she felt small. He did not bow. He did not call her Your Highness. He did not step back like most humans did around aliens. He just wiped his hands on a dirty cloth and said, "Hey, you look like you could use a seat that doesn't shake every few minutes. Grab one if you want. I'll be done soon." His voice was normal, friendly, no fear, no fake politeness. Lyra stared. No one talked to her like that. Not in years. Attendants always rushed in to pull her away from commonplaces. Humans usually looked at her chair and then looked away fast. But this man, Ethan, his name tag said, kept working. He turned back to the box and touched a wire with his tool. Sparks flew again. She did not move at first. Her heart beat fast. What if someone saw her here? What if her brother found out? But her legs ached from sitting too long, and the chair's hum was getting weaker. She needed to recharge. Slowly, she floated closer. There was an empty stool near the bench. She moved her chair beside it. The stool was low, but she could reach the bench top if she leaned a little. "Power outlets over there," he said, pointing to a panel on the wall. "Should fit your model. Most alien chairs use the same plug these days." Lyra looked at the outlet. It was standard. She pressed a button on her chair arm. A small cord came out and plugged in. The chair lights brightened. A soft beep told her it was charging. "Thanks," she said quietly. Her voice sounded small in the room. Ethan nodded. No problem. He went back to work. For a minute the only sounds were the spark of his tool and the low hum of machines. Lyra watched him. He was careful. His hands moved sure and slow. He fixed a small circuit board inside the black box. She saw a problem right away. The new chip he put in was too big for the space. Heat would build up fast. She opened her mouth, then closed it. No one asked her opinion, ever. But Ethan spoke first. This regulator keeps breaking. Station designers use cheap parts. I swap them every week. Thought this chip would last longer, but look at the size. He held it up. Lyra leaned forward. It won't fit right, she said. The heatsink is too small. In Valorian ships, we add a secondary vent here. She pointed with one finger to a spot on the diagram, floating above the bench. Ethan stopped. He looked at the spot, then at her. Huh, you're right. That would pull the hot air out faster. He smiled a little. You know machines? Lyra felt her face get warm. A little, she said. I read a lot. He did not laugh or act surprised. He just said, Good, because I'm stuck. Want to help? She blinked. Help? No one asked her to help. She nodded slowly. Ethan pushed a small screen toward her. See this line? It's the power flow. If we reroute it like you said, might work. Lyra looked at the screen. Her mind started working fast. She forgot about her brother, the meetings, the shame. Change this connection. Add a small loop. It balances the load. Ethan did it. He soldered the new path. Then he tested it. The box hummed steady. No sparks, no warning lights. He sat back. That did it. Thanks. Lyra felt something warm inside her chest. Pride. Real pride. Not fake smiles for cameras. Ethan stood up and stretched. I'm Ethan, by the way. Human engineer. Fix boring stuff so the fancy diplomats don't freeze or lose air. Lyra, she said. She did not add princess. It felt good not to. He nodded like that was normal. Want some coffee? Real stuff from Earth, not the fake kind they serve upstairs. She had never tried Earth coffee. She nodded. He poured 2 cups from a small machine in the corner. He gave her one. She took a sip. It was bitter. She made a face. Ethan laughed softly. Yeah, I hate it too. Drink it anyway. Keeps me awake. Lyra smiled. A real smile. Small, but real. Not talking much. Just drinking bad coffee. Looking at the fixed box. The room felt safe. Quiet. No one telling her to be quiet. No one staring at her chair like it was wrong. Outside, the station kept moving. Diplomats kept talking. Her attendants were probably looking for her now. But for a little while, Lyra stayed. Ethan did not ask her to leave. He just asked if she wanted another cup. The next morning, Lyra woke up early, in her small guest room on the station. The room was fancy, with soft lights and big windows, showing the swirling colors of the gas giant below. But it felt like a cage. Her brother had sent a message during the night. Stay in the main halls today. No more wandering. We have important talks. She stared at the words on her screen. Her fingers tightened. She did not want to stay in the main halls. She wanted to go back to the small workshop, to the place where someone listened, where no one looked at her like she was broken. She waited until her attendants were busy with breakfast plans. Then she turned her hover chair toward the door. The corridor outside was quiet. She moved fast, keeping close to the walls. Her chair hummed softly. She took the same side path as yesterday, past the maintenance-only signs, past the empty corners where no one looked. The metal door was the same. She pressed the button. It opened. Ethan was already there. He sat up a bench with a new part in his hands, a shiny metal arm piece from some robot cleaner. He looked up and smiled, like he expected her. Morning, he said. Figured you might come back. Lyra floated inside. The door closed behind her. She felt the air change, cooler, full of the smell of oil and warm circuits. Safe. She stopped near the bench. I should not be here, she said. My people, they will look for me. Ethan shrugged. Doors unlocked. You walked in. That's on you. He pointed to the corner. I cleared that spot. Put a better power plug there too. Your chair won't die so fast. Lyra looked. He had moved boxes away. A small table stood ready with a chair cushion on it, so she could sit higher if she wanted. A thick cable hung from the wall, ready to plug in. He had thought about her. She plugged in her chair. The lights brightened. She felt her shoulders relax a little. Ethan went back to his work. This arm keeps jamming. The joint is too tight. Want to take a look? Lyra moved closer. She leaned over the bench. The metal arm had small gears inside. She saw the problem fast. The lubricant channel is blocked, she said. Dust from the station air gets in. You need a filter cap here. She pointed. Ethan nodded. Makes sense. I have some caps in the drawer. He opened a drawer and pulled out a small bag. He handed her one. You do it. Your hands are steadier than mine for small stuff. Lyra took the cap. Her fingers were careful. She fitted it over the joint. Then she used a tiny tool to tighten it. Ethan watched. He did not hover or take over. He just waited. When she finished, he tested it. The arm moved smooth. No grind, no jam. Nice, he said. You're good at this. Lyra felt warm again. I read about it, she said. My family does not like when I study machines. They say a princess should not get dirty. Ethan snorted. Dirty hands make things work. Clean hands just look pretty. He wiped his own hands on his jumpsuit. They were black with grease. See? Proof. Lyra almost laughed. She stopped herself, but her mouth curved up. They worked for a while. Ethan showed her a broken scanner from the station kitchen. Lyra suggested a fix using a part from an old Valorian design she remembered. Ethan listened. He asked questions. Why that wire? What if it overheats? She answered. He tried her idea. It worked. Time passed fast. Hours felt like minutes. Ethan stood up and stretched. Coffee break? He went to the small machine. He poured 2 cups. This time he added sugar for her. Last time you made a face. Try this. Lyra took the cup. She sipped. Sweet, warm, better. Thanks, she said. They sat, not on fancy chairs, on stools at the bench. Ethan leaned back against the wall. So, he said, why do they treat you like that? Your people, I mean. Lyra looked down at her cup. She did not want to talk about it, but the words came anyway. I was in the palace. There was a test. New power core. It exploded. I was close. My legs, gone. They saved my life, but not my place. In Valor, royals must be strong. Perfect. I am not perfect now. Ethan listened. He did not say sorry. He did not look sad for her. He just nodded. That sucks. Lyra waited for more. Pity. Advice. Nothing came. He took a sip of coffee. I wanted to be a pilot once. Flew small ships in training. Then I crashed. Broke my back in 2 places. Doctors fixed it, but my nerves are slow now. No more flying. They said I was done. Lyra looked at him. But you fix things. Yeah, he said. Turns out fixing is better than breaking anyway, and I still get to touch ships, just from the inside. Real. Lyra felt something loosen inside her. They hide me, she said. My brother says I embarrass them. The Empire talks about strength. I am weakness. Ethan put his cup down. Strength is not legs. It's what you do with what you have. You just fixed that arm better than I could. That's strength. Lyra stared at him. No one had said that before. They talked more, about small things. How Ethan learned to cook bad earth food in the station kitchen. How Lyra once tried to grow flowers in her room, but they died because the air was wrong. They laughed at stupid things, the way diplomats walked like they had sticks up their backs, the way the coffee machine always burned the last cup. Then the door opened fast. Two Valorian attendants rushed in, tall, silver uniforms, faces tight with worry and anger. "Princess," one said, "we have searched everywhere." The other looked at Ethan. "Human, step away from her." He stayed calm. "She's fine. We were talking." Lyra felt cold. Her chair felt heavy again. The first attendant grabbed the back of her chair. "Come, the prince waits. You missed the morning session." Lyra looked at Ethan. She did not want to go. Ethan met her eyes. "Doors open tomorrow too," he said. "Quiet, steady, if you want." The attendants pulled her chair. They moved fast. Lyra looked back as the door closed. Ethan stood there, hands in pockets. He gave a small nod. Like yesterday. The corridor felt cold after the warm workshop. The attendants talked fast. "This is dangerous. The prince will be angry. You cannot go to human places." Lyra did not answer. She stared ahead. Inside her chest, something burned, small but strong. She had helped. She had laughed. She had been seen. And Ethan had said the door was open. That note, in her room, she lay awake. The station lights dimmed for sleep cycle. The gas giant glowed outside. She thought about the workshop, the tools, the coffee, the way Ethan talked to her like a person. Not a princess, not a broken thing, just Lyra. She made a choice. Tomorrow she would go back, no matter what her brother said, no matter who tried to stop her, because for the first time in years, someone asked her to stay, and she wanted to. Lyra did not sleep much that night. She lay in her bed staring at the ceiling. The station lights outside her window changed colors slowly. Her mind kept going back to the workshop, to Ethan's voice, to the way he handed her tools like she belonged there. She thought about her brother's message again. No more mistakes. But going back felt like the only right thing. Morning came. The station woke up with soft alarms and distant voices. Lyra got ready fast. She put on a plain gray robe over her silver clothes. Something less royal, less noticeable. She checked the corridor. No attendants yet. She slipped out. She moved quicker this time. She knew the path. Past the signs, past the quiet turns. Her hover chair felt lighter. Or maybe she did. The door opened. Ethan was there, bent over a new project. A pile of wires and small screens. He looked up right away. "Thought you might skip today," he said. No surprise in his voice. Just calm. "I almost did," Lyra said. She floated to her spot. The power plug was still there. She connected it. "But I came." Ethan nodded. "Good." He pushed a small box toward her. "Look at this. New brace prototype. Human design. Light, strong. I want your thoughts." Lyra opened the box. Inside was a thin metal frame. It looked like legs, but not real ones. Supports. Joints that bent smooth. Small motors hummed when she touched them. She lifted it. It was light. Almost nothing in her hands. "This is for people like me?" "For anyone who needs it," Ethan said. "Station gets gravity shifts sometimes. Old people. Injured crew. Thought maybe it could help you too." Lyra felt her throat get tight. No one had ever made something just for her. Not like this. Not without pity. She set it on the bench. "Show me how it works." Ethan explained. He pointed to the straps, the power cell, the control pad on the side. "You wear it over your hips. It reads your movements, helps balance, gives extra push when you want to stand or walk short distances." "Walk?" Lyra said the word like it hurt. "Not full steps yet," Ethan said, "but better than nothing. We can adjust it." They worked together. Lyra tried it on. Ethan helped with the straps, careful, not touching more than he needed to. The brace fits snug, warm from the small heaters inside. She pressed the control. A soft buzz. The frame pushed up. Her body rose a little. not standing straight yet, but higher, stronger. She laughed, short, surprised. Ethan smiled. See? Not bad. They spent the morning fixing it. Lyra suggested changes. Make the joints softer here. Valorian skin is sensitive. Too much pressure hurts. Ethan listened. He changed the padding, added a thin layer. By midday, it felt better. She could lean forward, put weight on the brace, take one small step, then another. Slow, shaky, but real. You're a natural. Lyra stopped. She looked at him. Why are you doing this? Ethan wiped his hands. Because you asked questions. Because you know things. Because no one should feel stuck. Lyra sat back in her chair. The brace stayed on. My people think I am stuck forever. A reminder of failure. Ethan sat on his stool. My people used to think the same about me. After the crash, doctors said no more dreams. I believed them for a while. Then I got mad. Started fixing things instead. Turns out anger is good fuel. Lyra nodded slow. I am angry too. But I hide it. Don't hide it here, Ethan said. Use it. They talked more. About dreams they lost. About small wins that felt big. Ethan told her about his first fix on the station. A broken door that trapped a cook inside. He laughed when he said the cook hugged him so hard, he almost broke again. Lyra told him about the palace gardens. How she used to sneak there at night. Touch the flowers. Pretend she could run through them. She had not told anyone that before. The room filled with quiet sounds. Tools clicking. Soft laughs. The hum of machines. Then voices in the corridor. Loud, angry. The door slid open hard. Lyra's brother stood there. Tall, silver crown on his head. 2 guards behind him. Faces hard. Lyra, he said, cold. What is this? Lyra froze. The brace felt heavy now. Ethan stood up slow, calm. The prince looked at him. Human, you will leave us. Ethan did not move. This is my workshop. She came here. She's welcome. The prince stepped closer. She is not yours to welcome. She is Valorian. She has duties. Lyra felt small again. But then she remembered the brace, the steps, Ethan's words. She pressed the control. The brace lifted her. She stood, not perfect, wobbly, but standing. Her brother stared. What is that thing? It helps me, Lyra said. Her voice shook a little, then got stronger. Ethan made it, with my help. The prince's face twisted. You let a human touch royal work? You shame us. I helped fix things, Lyra said. Real things. Not just smiles for cameras. The prince laughed, short, mean. You think this makes you useful? You are broken, always will be. Ethan stepped forward. She's not broken. She's smart. Smarter than half the people in your delegation. She fixed things you never even tried. The prince glared at him. Stay out of this, human. Lyra looked at her brother. I will not stay quiet anymore. The prince pointed. Guards, take her back. The guards moved. Lyra stepped back. The brace held her. She did not fall. Ethan put a hand on the bench. Casual, but ready. She said no. The prince smiled. Thin, dangerous. You think you can stop us? Lyra spoke fast. Wait. Everyone stopped. She looked at her brother. I will come, but not like before. I want a voice. In talks. In plans. Or I will not come at all. The prince stared. Then he laughed again. You? A voice? You are a joke. He turned. Bring her. The guards grabbed her arms. Lyra pulled away. No. Ethan moved. Fast. He stood between them. Let her go. The prince's eyes narrowed. You dare? One guard pushed Ethan, hard. Ethan hit the bench. Tools fell. Lyra shouted, Stop! The room went quiet. She looked at Ethan. He rubbed his arm, but he stood again, nodded to her. Small, like always. She turned to her brother. I am staying. Here. For now. The prince's face went red. "You will regret this." He left. Guards followed. The door closed. Lyra sank back into her chair. The brace powered down. She shook. Ethan walked over. "You okay?" She nodded, tears in her eyes. Not sad, angry, strong. "I stood," she said. "Yeah, you did." He picked up a fallen tool, put it back. "Door's still open, whenever you want." Lyra looked around the room. Tools, wires, messy, warm. She felt something new. Hope. Real hope. She would come back tomorrow, and the day after. Because here, she was not a princess to hide. She was Lyra, and that was enough. The door to the workshop stayed closed after the prince left. The air felt thick, heavy. Lyra sat in her hover chair again. The new brace rested on her lap like a promise she was not sure she could keep. Ethan picked up the last fallen tool from the floor. He put it back on the bench without a word. Then he looked at her. "You stood up to him," he said. Quiet, proud. Lyra stared at her hands. They shook a little. "I never did that before. He will make things worse now." Ethan pulled his stool closer. "Maybe, but you did it. That's what matters." She looked up. His eyes were steady. No fear, no doubt. "What if they take me away? Force me back to the ship?" "Then we fight it," Ethan said. Simple, like it was obvious. "Not with fists, with proof, with what you can do." Lyra felt tired, but also awake. More awake than she had been in years. "Show me more. The brace. Make it better." Ethan nodded. He cleared space on the bench. They started working again. This time, faster, harder. Lyra took the brace apart. She changed the motor settings, made the steps smoother. Ethan added a small sensor from a station spare part. It read her balance better. They tested it. She stood again. This time she took 3 steps. 4. Slow, but sure. She laughed when she did not fall. Real laugh, loud in the small room. Ethan grinned. "See? You're walking." "Not walking," she said, "but close." They kept going. Hours passed. The station lights dimmed for evening cycle. No one came to look for her. Not yet. Maybe her brother thought she would give up, crawl back, say sorry. She did not. Ethan made more coffee. This time he found some old earth cookies in a drawer. Hard, a little stale, but good. They ate while they worked. Crumbs fell on the bench. Neither cared. Lyra talked more. About the palace. About how her mother used to sing to her when she was small. About how the song stopped after the accident. Ethan listened. He told her about his family back on Earth. A sister who sent him bad jokes every week. A dad who fixed old cars in the garage. He always said, if it moves, it can be fixed. If it doesn't, make it move. Lyra smiled. "I like that." Night came. The workshop lights stayed bright. They finished a new version of the brace. Stronger joints, better power. Lyra tried it on again. She walked across the room. 10 steps, then back. Her legs felt strange, tired, but alive. She stopped in front of Ethan. "Thank you." He shook his head. "You did most of it." She looked at the door. "I should go back, before they send guards." Ethan stood. "You don't have to." "I know," she said, "but if I stay away too long, they will come hard. I need to face them first." He nodded. "Then go. But come back tomorrow. We have more to do." Lyra took off the brace, folded it carefully, put it in a small bag Ethan gave her. She floated to the door, stopped, turned back. "Ethan," she said, "if they try to take me, will you help?" "Already am," he said. She left. The corridors felt different now, longer, colder. She moved slow, thinking. When she reached the Valorian section, guards waited outside her door. They did not speak, just opened it. Inside, her brother sat in a big chair, arms crossed, face dark. "You return," he said. "Good. I thought you ran away like a child." Lyra floated closer. "I came back because I choose to, not because you ordered." He stood, tall, angry. "You choose, you have no choice. You are Valorian, you serve the Empire." "I serve by thinking," Lyra said, "by fixing, by being useful, not by sitting silent." He stepped close. "You think that human toy makes you strong? It makes you look weak, pathetic." Lyra lifted her chin. "That is more than you ever gave me." The prince's hand moved fast. He slapped the side of her chair, hard. The hover unit wobbled. Lyra grabbed the arms to stay steady. "You forget your place," he said low. Lyra did not flinch. "No, I remember it, and I hate it." He stared. Then he smiled, cold. "Tomorrow is the big trade meeting. You will sit there, smile, be quiet, or I will make sure the Empire knows every detail of your adventures, your weakness, your shame." Lyra felt fear, sharp, but she pushed it down. "Do what you want. I will not be quiet." He laughed. "We will see." He left. The door closed. Guards stayed outside. Lyra sat alone in the dark room. She took the brace from the bag, held it, felt the metal, warm from use. She would not be quiet. Morning came fast. The big meeting hall was full. Long table, chairs for every species. Humans on one side, Valorians on the other, aliens in between. Papers moved. Voices rose and fell. Lyra sat at the end of her side, silent so far. Her brother watched her, eyes hard. The talk turned to accessibility, ships, stations, how to make them better for all bodies. A human delegate asked, "What about people who cannot walk, or see, or breathe the same air?" Lyra's brother spoke fast. "Valor handles our own. We do not need outside help." Lyra pressed the control on her chair. The brace was hidden under her robe. She stood, slow. Everyone looked. The room went quiet. "I have something," Lyra said. Her voice carried, clear. Her brother hissed, "Sit!" She did not. She stepped forward. One step, two. The brace held her. She walked to the middle of the table. Everyone stared. "I made this," she said. She opened her robe a little, showed the brace. "With a human engineer, it helps me stand, walk, think better, work better." Murmurs started. Humans leaned forward. Valorians looked shocked. "This can help others," Lyra said. "Not just me. On stations, on ships, for anyone who needs it." A human woman at the table asked, "Can we see the design?" Lyra nodded. She pulled a small data pad from her pocket. Ethan had given it to her last night. Full schematics, notes, everything. She sent it to the main screen. People looked, asked questions. Lyra answered, calm, sure. Her brother stood. "This is not allowed. She has no right." A human delegate cut in. "She has every right. She speaks for herself, and maybe for better trade." More talk, fast, excited. Lyra felt strong, tall. Her brother sat down, face red, silent. After the meeting, people came to her. Humans, some aliens. They asked about the brace, how it worked, if they could copy it. Lyra answered, smiled, felt real. When it ended, she walked out. Slow, but walking. Leaning on the wall, arms crossed. He smiled when he saw her. "You did it," he said. Lyra stopped in front of him. "We did it." He looked at her brace. "Looks good out there." She took a step closer. "They want more. Designs, tests. They want me to stay. Work on it." Ethan nodded. "Good." Lyra looked back at the hall, then at him. "I am scared." "I know. he said, "but you're not alone." She reached out, touched his arm. Light, quick. "Thank you," she said, "for asking me to stay." Ethan covered her hand with his. Warm, steady. "Doors always open," he said. Lyra smiled. Big, real. She turned, walked down the corridor, brace humming soft. Not hiding, not running, going forward. The station felt different the next day. The corridors buzzed with more voices. More eyes turned toward Lyra as she moved through them. Some looked curious. Some whispered. A few smiled. She wore the brace under a light robe. It gave her strength to stand taller, to walk short distances without the chair. She still used the hover chair for long hauls, but now she could step out when she wanted. She went straight to the workshop. The door opened before she pressed the button. Ethan stood there, wiping his hands on a rag. A new workbench sat in the middle. Bigger, cleaner, 2 extra stools. He had made space for more people. "You made the news," he said. "Everyone's talking about the princess who walked into the meeting." Lyra floated inside. "I did not plan it that way." Ethan smiled. "Plans change. Good ones do." She parked her chair, stood up using the brace, took steps to the bench. Ethan watched. Not staring, just seeing. Ethan pushed a data pad toward her. "Look, messages came in overnight. From human engineers, from station doctors. Even some aliens. They want the brace plans. They want to test it, improve it." Lyra opened the pad. Lines of text. Questions. Offers. "They want me to lead a small team," she said, quiet, surprised. Ethan nodded. "You should." She looked at him. "What if my people stop it? My brother, he will not let this go." Ethan leaned back. "He can try. But the Empire needs trade. Humans need allies. If they push you away, they lose more than pride." Lyra thought. Long. Then she said, "I want to stay. Here, on the station, not go back." Ethan met her eyes. "Then stay." She smiled. Small, real. "I need to ask for asylum. Official, safe." Ethan stood. "I know people, good ones. Let's do it right." They spent the morning preparing. Ethan called a friend from the human delegation, a kind woman named Laura. She came to the workshop fast. She listened to Lyra, took notes, asked gentle questions. No pity, just facts. Laura said, "The Sol Concordance will support this. Your work helps everyone, not just you. We can file the request today." Lyra felt her chest loosen. "Thank you," she said. Laura left to start the papers. Lyra turned to Ethan. "Will you come to the meeting?" "Wouldn't miss it," he said. Afternoon came. The closed session room was small, not the big hall, just key people, human leaders, Valorian representatives, a few neutral aliens to watch. Lyra walked in. No chair, just the brace. Slow steps, steady. Everyone looked. Her brother sat at the Valorian side, face tight, arms crossed. The human leader, a tall man named Daniel, started. "Princess Lyra has requested asylum with the Sol Concordance. She wishes to stay and work on accessibility technology, joint projects, open designs." Lyra's brother stood fast. "She is royal, property of the Empire. This is theft." Daniel stayed calm. "She is a person, not property, and her work benefits all species here, including yours." Lyra spoke. "I will not return. I have value here. Real value. I will share what I know, but only if I stay free." The room murmured. Her brother pointed. "You shame us. You choose humans over blood." Lyra looked straight at him. "I choose myself, and people who see me." Silence fell. Heavy. One neutral alien, an old diplomat with 4 eyes, spoke. "The station is neutral ground. Asylum is allowed if no crime is committed. There is no crime here." More talk. Fast. heated. Lyra stood quiet. Ethan sat at the back, arms crossed, watching. Her brother tried again. If she stays, we pull out of talks. No trade, no deals. Daniel smiled thin. Then we lose nothing. We have her designs already. We can build without you. The prince's face went white. A human engineer stood up. Not Ethan, another one. We sent a petition from the workshop teams. We want her here. She fixed things we could not. She thinks different. That's good. More humans nodded. The neutral diplomat raised a hand. Vote now. Simple. Yes or no to asylum. Hands went up, slow at first, then more. Humans, neutrals, even one Valorian aide who looked scared but sure. More yes than no. The prince slammed the table. This is not over. But it was. He stormed out. Guards followed. The door closed hard. Lyra stayed standing, legs tired, but she did not sit. Daniel walked over. Welcome, Lyra. You have a place here. Official, safe. She nodded. Thank you. People left, quiet now, happy. Ethan waited until the room was empty. He walked to her. You did it, he said. Lyra looked around. Empty chairs, empty table. We did. He offered his arm, not to carry her, just to walk beside. She took it, light. They walked out together, slow, steady. Back in the workshop, the lights felt warmer. Ethan opened a small box. Inside, 2 new brace parts, shiny, finished. For the team, he said. Your team. Lyra touched them. My team. She sat on the stool, took off the brace for a rest. Ethan made coffee, real, with sugar. They drank, quiet. Then Lyra said, I walked into the wrong room that day. Ethan laughed soft. Best wrong turn ever. She looked at him, long. You asked me to stay. He met her eyes. And you did. She reached over, touched his hand, held it, warm, real. I am staying, she said, for good. Ethan squeezed her hand. Good. Outside, the gas giant turned slow. Stars moved past the windows. The station kept spinning. Inside the small workshop, 2 people sat. 1 human, 1 alien. 1 engineer, 1 princess. Both free. Tools lay on the bench, ready for tomorrow. New designs waited. New ideas. New friends. Lyra looked at Ethan. What now? He smiled. We fix things. Together. She smiled back. Big. Bright. Together. The door stayed open. Always.